Hi, we're Derek and Jonathan.
And we're in Everglades National Park.
This is the first of 3 videos where we'll be exploring all of Florida's national parks: Everglades, Biscayne, and Dry Tortugas.
And while these parks are amazing, they're all located in southern Florida and are just one part of what makes Florida such a great road trip state.
We took the East Coast route on our way south, and along the way stopped in beautiful St. Augustine to explore the ruins of Castillo de San Marcos.
And near Melbourne, we stayed near Sebastian Inlet and watched dolphins swim right past our campsite.
We lived in Florida for years before starting RV life, so in this video we actually know what we're talking about.
We put links to all our other Florida videos in the description below to help you navigate this beautiful state.
But today's all about the Everglades. We parked the RV at Long Pine Key Campground and then went straight to the Ernest F. Coe Visitor Center to get our bearings.
Everglades National Park protects over 1.5 million acres of wetlands, including marshes, mangroves, coastal estuaries, and the remnants of a massive, slow-moving river that once covered nearly all of South Florida.
The park is huge and spread out, with 2 main areas over an hour away from one another.
We started our Everglades adventure by exploring the trails in the southern half of the park, near Florida Bay.
So today we started on the Anhinga Trail? Anhinga Trail, which is named after a bird, which we saw at the beginning. Is that all right?
It's
Very true. It's very true.
This is supposed to be a great easy trail. It's like a half-mile boardwalk type thing where you can see wildlife. We've already seen an alligator, we've seen an Anhinga, we've seen this vulture that's circling around.
That thing over there. It's a half-mile trail, little small loop, handicap accessible. Today is Saturday. It's very quiet here at sunset, so it's very nice. Those are our shadows. That's it.
This part of the park sits along one of the Everglades' 2 freshwater sloughs, a slow-moving, shallow river that supports an incredible mix of plant life.
Those lily pads aren't just pretty, they're part of a huge floating ecosystem that provides cover for fish, insects, and baby gators trying to survive.
The bird activity here is wild. We saw herons stalking the shallows, cormorants drying their wings, and reddish egrets hopping across the water. And of course, the trail's namesake, the Anhinga.
It's one of the only birds that swims completely underwater to spare its prey with that sharp beak.
Even though the trail is short, the biodiversity packed into this half mile is crazy, all thanks to the unique mix of water depth, vegetation, and that slow flow that defines the Everglades. All right, Anhinga Trail, general impressions. Jonathan, you first.
Cool. It's more of a boardwalk. You get to see alligators and birds.
Recommend coming at sunset, sunrise maybe, bright lighting. There's probably more wildlife out.
Yep.
But great opportunity to see birds, fish, and alligators all at once. Good morning. It is our second day in the Everglades, our first and only full day in the Everglades, and we have spent the entire morning dealing with an unexpected RV issue. Our 4 battle-born lithium batteries are dead. We woke up this morning, we're not entirely sure why, but they went through all the amperage and they are in low voltage disconnect mode. So if you have a battle-born battery, you may know that once they reach a certain low voltage point, they just kind of disconnect. It's like a battery management system thing that's in effect so that they don't actually die for good. But you have to wake them up with like a soft start, kind of like jump starting a car. You have to connect into a 12-volt energy source and like slowly wake them up to a certain point so that you can actually charge them up with the generator, which we tried to do this morning and it did absolutely nothing. So we went to Walmart. We have 3 things we're gonna try. First, we're gonna try this like battery charger thing, a 12-volt lithium battery charger. Hopefully that works. If not, we have this jump start battery pack thing that we can try. If that doesn't work, we'll try an actual jump start with the truck. If that doesn't work, probably not gonna record our reaction to that, but we'll figure out what we'll do after. On the way back from Walmart, we had a chance to stop at Robert Is Here, which is like a local fruit stand. We can get milkshakes and stuff. So we had a chance to get some breakfast and some fruit. It's a cool spot. We saw an emu and some emu eggs that are like giant dinosaur eggs. Hopefully we can get this up and running so we can get out there and do something today. RV life at its finest. So here we have our dead battery bank. And here we have a Jonathan trying to connect the battery charger. So there's still life in there, but the battery management system automatically puts these batteries in low voltage disconnect mode, meaning it essentially shuts them all down. You can't charge them in a normal way. You can't discharge them in any way. This way it preserves whatever life so that we can save them. So we're trying to life support them. First try. I'm a pro. Okay, we're plugged in. Now we have to mess with the settings here. Here we go. So take it off standby mode. Now I should be able to hold it, and then all available modes will show up. All right, I need 12 volt lithium. I think I just leave it there. Oh, it's working. That means it's working. Option number 1 is working. That's exciting. Jonathan, we did it.
We did it.
All right, we're finally back on the road, ready to continue our Everglades exploration. We were able to get the batteries woken up. Really, we have 2 problems, right? 2 things that we had to figure out. One is how to wake the batteries up and get them working properly. And 2, really the bigger question is, why did they die in the first place? And we think the answer to that has something to do with the charging settings on our GoPower 3000, which is our inverter charger. I don't know, we still have more to figure out, but we're gonna go explore the park as much as we can. And it's hot in here right now, so bye.
We might see a woodpecker. Did you hear it this morning?
I did.
Outside of the RV?
Yeah. So we're starting today with the Pinelands Trail, which is a really short loop that brings you through the Pinelands. So most of coastal South Florida used to look like this, with these giant, or tall pine trees, I should say. But this is what's been mostly cleared by development in South Florida. So there's only like a very small patch of this remaining, which is kind of sad.
We had a little bit of this in Waxahachie where we live.
We did, yeah. But this is the largest remaining preserved tract of pinelands in South Florida, here in southern Everglades. So backing up for a moment. Everglades National Park has 2 main areas. There is the Shark Valley area that's kind of like in the center of southern Florida. And then separately, it takes a long time to get between the 2 areas, is this southern section. The Everglades is basically just a flowing river of grass, but a very slow moving river. So there's 2 main flows.
Slow and wide.
Slow and wide.
Not like a traditional river that you see.
Right.
Anywhere.
And there's 2 main sloughs, which is where the water is moving the fastest. There's one at Shark Valley, which is the biggest area. And then there's one down here, the Taylor Slough. And so that's why you have these 2 main areas within the park, because this is where the ecosystems are really thriving the most. This area, you can really drive through a lot. The Shark Valley, we're gonna check that out later this week. That's probably the place to go for like an airboat tour. The entire area around you is a reflective surface of water. Whereas here, you got a lot of pineland. You also have some of those marshy areas. In the southern section is where the freshwater meets the saltwater. And that you are not going to find in the Shark Valley area. There you're only going to find freshwater. And where freshwater meets saltwater, you find crocodiles and alligators together.
Cohabitating.
Yes, only place in the world where you can find that. So now we're on the Pa-Hay-Okee Trail. Pa-Hay-Okee means river of grass in Seminole. The Seminole tribe is one of the 2 main tribes from the Everglades area. They were down here in the southern end, while the Miccosukee tribe was over near Shark Valley. We're here looking at the Shark River Slough. And here is Shark Valley that we were talking about off the Tamiami Trail. So we're exploring the southern section of the Everglades, and we're watching the water come down here. Next up, the Mahogany Hammock Trail, where we hope to see
Owls.
So far it looks like all the other trails.
Very frightened. A soft, spongy mat of algae called periphyte blankets aquatic surfaces throughout the freshwater Everglades. That's what that is.
Looks kind of gross, but
During the summer, it floats along the surface where it's grazed on by fish and tadpoles. During the winter, a multitude of animals like snails, crayfish, and insect larvae burrow into its moist interior for survival.
ew. All right, well, the more you know. Look at all that periphyton. We learned so much by reading all these little interpretive signs along the trails here. So you may be able to see this like path of water here around the hammock. It's a moat. It's a natural moat that's created by like vegetation. So it's on a hammock like this that you might find a bobcat or a Florida panther. There are bobcats here, yeah? Yeah. Deer, bobcat, Florida panther, which are endangered. There's only like 8 or 9 Florida panthers living in the entire Florida Everglades. So if you do see one, it's very rare and you're very lucky. And you should also be careful. Along this trail, you're gonna see a lot of the local plant life, like gumbo limbo trees, strangler fig, a lot of ferns, a lot of palms. Here you can clearly see the moat that naturally forms around the hammocks. It's just formed by like decomposing vegetation and tree matter that collects around the edge of the hammock and eventually wears away at the limestone. So we just made it to the Flamingo Visitor Center.
Oh no, this is the lodge.
This place is huge. There's a lodge here. The visitor center is enormous. The area is very well maintained. It encompasses a much larger area than all the other visitor centers.
Yeah.
Cool.
Huge.
So this is the Guy Bradley Visitor Center. They just closed, so we missed it. This is one of the most beautiful visitor centers.
It's very pretty.
Like, sometimes they just fit the landscape so well, and this is one of them. But there is a harbor here, or bay, where you can see manatees. Sometimes. We've made it to Florida Bay. So it may not look like much. The Florida Bay actually includes 1/3 of the Everglades.
It's a massive shallow estuary where fresh water from the glades meets salt water from the Gulf, and it's one of the most ecologically important areas in the park, supporting everything from mangroves and seagrass beds to manatees and crocodiles.
Flamingo is the southernmost point you can drive to, and it's one of the best places to spot wildlife right from the shore.
And if you're lucky, you might just catch a crocodile swimming around in the mixed fresh and salt water. American crocodiles are one of the few reptiles that can thrive in both, which makes this the perfect habitat for them.
There it is.
Oh, you found a manatee. Oh, wow. We even spotted a group of manatees hanging out near the dock.
Manatees are gentle, slow-moving herbivores, and they spend most of their time grazing on seagrass or just cruising through the water.
They come up for air every few minutes, but most of the time, all you'll see is a little nose or ripples like this on the surface.
Florida is one of the few places where you can spot them in the wild, especially in calm, shallow waters like this. We left the southern part of the park and drove north to the Mahogany Trail, a highway that cuts straight across the Everglades, surrounded by miles of wetlands, sawgrass, and open sky.
Our destination, the Miccosukee Lands near Shark Valley, where we'd booked an airboat tour to get a different perspective of this massive ecosystem, one you can't get from any road or trail.
Airboat tours are one of the most popular ways to explore the Everglades, especially in these wide, shallow wetlands where regular boats can't go.
The flat-bottom design and giant fan in the back let them glide right across grass and water, giving you access to remote parts of the landscape that are otherwise impossible to reach.
They're loud, fast, and a little wild, but there's no better way to explore Everglades National Park.
So we did the airboat tour.
Yeah!
Jonathan, impressions? It was your first time on an airboat?
My first time on an airboat.
I've been on several.
Derek talked it up.
Yeah.
No, I had fun. It was great. It wasn't crowded because it's a Thursday afternoon, 4 o'clock. It was the last boat ride.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
So there was only 2 other families on board, which was great. The guide was great. He was a younger dude, tribal. He knew his stuff. Answered all the questions.
honest.
Not sure if they were accurate, but I think he was honest about what he knew.
He was honest also about, like, you know, why are these birds all here? He's like, because I feed them bread.
I think they do the same thing with the alligators that we stopped by. They probably feed them at some point, so they know to go there.
Right. So having been on several airboat tours, I think the key is coming in the summer. While it may be excruciatingly hot and you're probably sunburned, the Everglades just has more water in it in the summer. It's the wet season, so the airboat can really go anywhere. Right now you're stuck to these paths of water, and as a result you can't really get into the dense patches of grass to see what might be in there. But we did see animals. We saw a couple alligators, saw giant alligators, saw some baby alligators. That was really cool.
That was cool. Oh yeah, look how cute they are.
They're like 4 months old. Now the mom will watch them for 1 year. After 1 year, bye-bye. They only get to have 1 year. Right now you see the baby's black with yellow stripes. This is to have some clutch. Okay, a lot of animals. Yeah, a lot of animals try to eat the baby.
Glad we did it. If you're here in the winter and you want us at the Everglades, come see it.
Go do it.
Just know it's not the Everglades at its best. It's the dry season, so the grass reflects that. It's like yellow rather than green. In the summer, it is lush out here, like super green, animals everywhere. You can hear the water because it's just everywhere. Probably a foot or more of water in the Everglades in the wet season. So that's our takeaway.
Well, that wraps up our time in the Everglades, a place that's way more complex than it might seem at first glance.
Thanks so much for watching, and if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what's next.
That's right, because next time we're heading to Biscayne National Park, one of the few national parks that can only be explored by boat.
We'll show you how to get there, what's worth seeing, and how to make the most of your time on the water.
See you there.